It was Christmas Eve on the island of Sodor, and a big snowstorm was on the way. Percy arrived at Knapford Station late and a little bit tired. "Do you need help with any of the extra passengers, Percy?" said Edward. "No, Edward, I can manage. After all, I'm trying to help my best friend Thomas out, since he's busy helping out at the quarry," said Percy. Just then, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. He had very important news for his engines. "A big snowstorm is heading this evening. You all will have to wear your snowplows tonight," said Sir Topham Hatt. "But, sir, how bad would the snowstorm be?" said Annie. "Annie and Clarabelle, the snowstorms are going to be pretty bad this evening. You two will be fine. After all, James cleared up all of the tracks on Thomas's branch line," said Sir Topham Hatt. "A little snow won't bother me," said Gordon. "But Gordon, it's better to be safe than sorry," said Edward. "Edward's right, Gordon. You'll have to be careful on the main line. The tracks are very icy." "That won't bother me, sir," said Gordon. "Be careful out there, Gordon," said Percy. "I'll be fine," said Gordon, as Gordon thundered away with the express. As an hour went by, the snow started off slow, but then the snow began to get more intense, and the track was covered within a blink of an eye. Percy still pressed on. He knew he had to take his passengers home in time for Christmas. Just then at Farquhar Station, Edward was waiting there with Sir Topham Hatt. "Edward, I think it's best we stay here for the snow to die down. After all, we don't want to get snowed under," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Agreed, sir. But I wonder how Gordon's getting on," said Edward. "Oh, what do you know? There he is now," said Edward. "Come on, driver, we mustn't be late," Gordon said as he thundered down the line. "Hurry, hurry, hurry! We cannot be late," said Gordon. Just then, there was trouble up ahead. The tunnel was completely covered in snow. "Oh no!" said Gordon. Gordon applied his brakes, but it was too late. "Botheration," said Gordon. "Oh no! Gordon snowed under. It's going to take hours to dig him out, plus the passengers will get cold. We have to keep them warm," said Gordon's driver. "I'll go call for another engine," said Gordon's fireman. "I'll go keep checking on the passengers," said the guard. As Gordon's driver and fireman went to go call for another engine, the passengers were getting anxious. They were wondering if they were going to get home in time for Christmas with their families and friends. "How much longer till another engine gets here? It's getting really cold," said a passenger. "Don't worry, we're looking for another one," said the guard. Just then, they heard a familiar whistle. "It's Edward," said the guard, and Edward came to see what was happening. "Oh my, what happened here?" said Edward. "Gordon snowed under. It's going to take forever to dig him out," said the guard. Edward knew that this was the last train, and he wanted to get these passengers home in time for Christmas. "Is it all right if I take this train? After all, it's only to Farquhar," said Edward. "I see. That can work," said the guard. Edward buffered up to the coaches. Gordon was uncoupled from the train. And off Edward went to Farquhar Station. Just then, at Farquhar Station, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting. He was wondering when Edward was going to show up. Just then, he heard a familiar whistle. It was Edward. He had came back with Gordon's express coaches, where Gordon was snowed under. Edward's driver and fireman explained to Sir Topham Hatt about the situation. There's not enough room here at Farquhar Station. There's only one engine available that could take this train. Henry could take the train from Farquhar to Knapford, said Sir Topham Hatt. Edward was stern. He wanted to get these passengers home in time for Christmas to spend it with their families and friends. But sir, this is the last train. Plus, let me take this train. I know the way from here to Knapford Station. Plus, the passengers will freeze if we keep them out here. And I want to get these passengers home in time for Christmas to spend it with their families and friends. Let me take this train, sir, said Edward sternly. Sir Topham Hatt was surprised, but he knew what Edward meant. I guess so, Edward. After all, you are good at pulling the express sometimes, said Sir Topham Hatt. You could take the train, said Sir Topham Hatt. Edward was excited. Edward hurried to the front of the express. Then, Edward buffered up to the express coaches. Slowly but surely, he was coupled up to the train. It's time to bring these passengers home in time for Christmas. To spend it with their families and friends, said Edward. Edward waited for the all clear from the guard. Then, when Edward got the all clear from the guard, Edward blew his whistle, and Edward was off. As Edward hurried along the main line that led to Knapford Station, Edward huffed and puffed with the express. He was going no less than 30 miles an hour. Well done, boy, you're doing well. Edward was proud that he couldn't even speak. The passengers were getting anxious. They were wondering if Edward was gonna get them home in time for Christmas. Then, tired and triumphantly, Edward arrived at Knapford Station. With the doors of the express coaches swinging open, all the passengers cheered for Edward. "You magnificent engine," said a passenger. "You saved Christmas," said the passengers. All the passengers cheered for Edward. As Edward saw all the passengers cheer that he brought them home in time for Christmas, Edward could have felt more proud. Just like how he did 50 years prior on that stormy night, when he brought the passengers home with one axle. "Merry Christmas, everyone," said Edward to all the passengers. "Merry Christmas to you too, Edward," said one of the passengers. Edward could have felt more proud that he got the passengers home in time to spend it with their families and friends for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.